Welcome to this video. There's a Karen on the plane. So my husband and I took our anniversary vacation in St. Petersburg, Florida, and we're on the plane heading back home to Greensboro. Right now everybody is loading up and Karen is not happy because my husband's arm is touching hers when she sits down. And right now she's waiting to talk to a flight attendant to see about getting her seat changed. Oh.
Yeah. My father. Hopefully in your pocket. In my home.
Look at her. She got like my husband was hurting her and she's standing up. Could you be any more of a Karen at this point? Like, everybody is sitting right next to each other. It's a plane. It's three people to a seat. Come on, lady. There had to be one.
At home. Yes.
Now, when we got on the plane in Greensboro, there was a guy that was sitting next to my husband, and he was like, I ain't trying to get in your personal space or nothing. I'm just trying to get my seatbelt. He was cool. And at the end, like after everybody had boarded, he was like, my son is sitting right up there, and there's a seat next to him. I'm going to see if I can go sit up there with him and give y'all a little more space. Why can't everybody be as nice as him? Look at this Karen. Look at her. Right now, she's moving her bag around because the person in front of her put their bag in and she didn't like how it was in there. So she's moving things around. Look at her legs. Look how she moving. She knows she's tired. Somebody tell her. Just tell her. Somebody, go ahead and tell her. Sit down, child. You know you tired. I'm tired just looking at you. Stand there. Yo, literally, she stood here for 8 minutes waiting for everybody to board the plane. She's blocking part of the aisle. People are having to squeeze by her because my husband's arm touched hers. Look at her. Don't she look like a Karen? Y'all see how she watching that man try to find a spot for his bag? Shaking my head. What's wrong with people? What's wrong with them? Somebody please tell me what's the matter with Karen?
I can't get in my seat. I mean, I paid for a seat. I can't breathe on somebody like this.
Yes, honey. Wait till everyone gets onto the plane and then we'll be able to better assist you, okay?
Well,
So let's let everyone get on first. Go ahead and slide in there. What seat are you going to, sir?
3A.
Oh, stay up there. You said 3A? What's going on with these seats? Guys? Did you guys get a manifest? Yeah, double booking. What seat are you supposed to be in, honey? You said 2A? Okay, can you go on 2A first time? It's fine. It's a lot of people not looking at their boarding passes, or they're not reading it right.
I just can't sit that close to breathe.
Seven.
You need help with your seatbelt? You need help with your seatbelt?
I just think they're packing us in here. That's not I'm taking a 9.
8.
If I can just get my arm in, it would help. Just take your arm over on your thing so I can move mine, please.
Y'all notice how she's doing all she can not to touch him?
This is not gonna work. No way.
She talking about, can you move your arm over just a little bit? Where do you think he's supposed to go? Like, please tell me. Where else is he supposed to go? Look at the lady across the aisle. She's still looking.
You have to go over a little bit with your arm. So,
Look how she's shaking her head.
with your arm.
We're in the seat. I'm actually in my seat.
Put your own knee on my arm and hold so I can move my arm. So you're not.
Somebody come get her. She's acting like a Karen. They're sitting across the road watching what's going on, but at the same time, they're touching each other's shoulders. What in the world? So right now she's taking her seatbelt off because she's tired of sitting next to my sexy man. She's going up front to make a complaint.
Yes, ma'am. So, yep, and you got this that you paid for. The only problem with today is this flight is actually full. So we do have a few seats that are open. We're waiting for one more passenger to come, but if you turn around, you can see pretty much every row has a seat. There's not one single row with this office in it.
So you gonna be touching some Africa.
Right. But
When she came in,
Your request is denied. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. Just watch her. Would you look at her? My husband just been so nice and kind to her, and she's just been a Karen. Come on down. There's a Karen on this plane. There's a Karen on this plane. If you see her pouring her out. If you see her pouring her out. There's a Karen on the plane. There's a Karen on the plane. If you see her pouring her out. If you see her pouring her out. There's a Karen on this plane. There's a Karen on this plane. If you see her pouring her out. If you see her pouring her out. Pour her out. Pouring her out. Pouring her out. Karen, go home.
Very,
Right here, we're just talking about how well the flight attendants handled Karen. They stayed calm and polite, and everyone around her is just in unbelief that she acted the way she did over a seat. Like, come on, lady. If you don't want to touch somebody on a plane, don't ride a plane. If you don't want to be next to someone on a bus, don't ride a bus. If you'd like to be by yourself, get a private jet, drive yourself, have somebody drive you so you can sit in the back seat by yourself. Karen. So she pretty much rode like this the rest of the trip, hanging off the edge of the seat ridiculously. Like, no one else complained about somebody's arm touching them or anything like that. I mean, even if I was sitting in the middle, my arm would have touched her arm. I mean, it's just how it works on a plane. If you don't want to touch, don't ride in a public transportation where there's more than one person to a seat.
I didn't think
Period, point blank. Karen!
you don't need to.
about Sherrod says I probably have to.
Yeah.
Sherrod says I can understand his argument.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I think the airline actually makes it purchase. I have fun.
I do too.
What's up, y'all? I hope you enjoyed the video. Y'all, she was a mess, okay? So, at the end of the flight, y'all, she called herself apologizing. And she says, I'm so sorry for everything, but I was on this flight for a purpose or a reason. And then my husband had his headphones on, so he can't hear with those things on. So I'm like, she's talking to you. So he takes it off and she repeats herself. I didn't really hear her at first, so I didn't really know what she said. But then she said it again. And then I'm like, did she just say she's sorry for everything, but she was on here for a reason? We all on this plane for a reason. We're trying to go home. During the flight, after the video cut off, she still kept bothering him, asking him if he could scoot over. And I was like, ma'am, where would you like him to scoot? Everybody is touching on this plane. What do you exactly want him to do? She starts looking between the seats in front of her to see if the people were actually touching. Everybody's shoulders is shoulder to shoulder. Everybody's shoulders is touching. Even the people that were a little bit slimmer than my husband and I, their shoulders were still touching. So then I proceeded to tell her, well, there is an empty seat behind us. If you'd like to move there, you know, you still are going to touch somebody, but you may be a little more comfortable back there. She proceeds to say, oh, I pay for this seat. And I proceeded to say, we pay for our seats too. So it is what it is. Then she says, I'm not going to keep arguing with you. I said, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So the flight ends. We finally get off the flight, and she was still being a Karen even after her little fake apology. So we get off the plane and we go, we're heading to baggage to pick our bags up. Well, we need to use the bathroom first. So we stopped to use the bathroom. So when I went in, there's a lady that was behind me that was on the flight. And she was like, that lady just gave y'all a hard time for no reason. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what the problem was. I mean, you get on the plane, you're going to sit next to people, you're going to be touching. It is what it is. If you don't want to be touched, don't ride the plane. Find another way to travel. And then a lady comes out of the stall and she was like, she was giving you all a hard time. I don't know what the problem was. And I was like, I don't know either. She was just ridiculous. And then Karen comes out the bathroom looking crazy. Yeah, we all talking about you because you was absolutely ridiculous on the plane. Like, I've seen Karens in other people's videos, but I never really truly experienced a Karen. She was crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, I mean, if you don't like touching people, don't ride a plane, don't ride a bus, get a chauffeur, drive. I don't know what else to tell you, but don't get on a plane thinking you're not going to touch somebody unless you pay for 2 seats. Okay? Peace.